Hello, and welcome to the April Arctic Vibe, your connection to what's happening this month at Fort Wainwright, Alaska. Recorded live at the School Age Center. And now, our host, U.S. Army Garrison Alaska Commander, Colonel Nate Surrey.
Hello, Fort Wainwright. Colonel Nate Surrey, Garrison Commander. I hope you're having a wonderful week. And we're here, the breakup's starting. The weather's getting much warmer. We've been averaging somewhere in the high 20s to the high 40s, bouncing back and forth. Much more dangerous right now, freeze-thaw period. So I'd ask everyone, as soon as you get out of the car or as you're preparing to get out of the car, get in the car, step off the porch, walk through the parking lots, just take extra time, because if you're in a hurry, it's all it takes, and boom, your feet are gone and some part of your body's going to hit the ground. So. But it will be over in a couple months. Daylight, we're up. I think we're over 13, approaching 14 hours a day. Before you know it, it will never be dark through the month of June and July. So exciting time for the base. So my first topic I'd like to bring up is our concert. 10 June, Friday evening, 10 June. That's a short weekend. We planned it that way specifically because we know we have a long weekend the following weekend and people will be going out of town and there's a lot of block leave and we're going to, 4th of July and hunting season. So we chose to do 10 June on a Friday evening so you could attend the concert. It's going to be at the golf course. So the golf course parking lot is where the stage will be filled, and then all that grassy area behind it to the left and right is where you can throw your camp chairs out or whatnot, enjoy a wonderful summer concert. We do not know who the entertainers are yet. Our team is aggressively marketing for that now, but we should have that information in the next month or so that we'll start advertising it all over the Facebook page, on the billboard you see around town, get emailed out and so forth and so on. So hope you come out and join us. It's going to be a good time. All right, next top topic is Gold Star Spouses Day. It's 5 April. Very incredibly important topic, near and dear to my soul. I'm going to introduce Courtney Wagner for a quick video, and then I'll talk a few more points afterwards.
Hello, this is Courtney with Survivor Outreach Services. Tuesday, April the 5th is Gold Star Spouse Day. Gold Star Spouse Day was created in 2010 to formally recognize those spouses whose service member had paid the ultimate price in service to their country. The military bestows the Gold Star pin, either the Gold Star lapel pin or the next of kin lapel pin, to the spouse or next of kin as a symbol of the respect of their service member's service and sacrifice. Gold Star Spouse Day is meant to bring about awareness, not only for these spouses' grief and loss, but also to share the many resources and support agencies designed to foster community and resilience for these spouses and families. On Tuesday, April the 5th, please take a moment to remember and even reach out to a Gold Star spouse. We have many right here in our community. Let them know you see them, you honor them, and share a moment to honor their service member's legacy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Courtney, for that wonderful message. So our Gold Star spouses and our Gold Star children and parents are often overlooked once the memorial is complete and we put the soldier in their final resting place. So I'd ask you to reach out to those folks that you know are Gold Star families and just tell them you're there for them and that you understand how incredibly important their sacrifice is to this nation. So I hope you do that on the 5th. I know I will, because I've got a couple Gold Star spouses I'm very close to. Okay, next hot topic is going to be Leisure Needs Survey. We had over 400 respondents. Unfortunately, it was all had to do manually. That'll be rectified for next year, or I think we do it every 3 years. I apologize, but I greatly appreciate it. It was very time consuming. It took me about 20 to 30 minutes to do. We have finally gotten the preliminary raw data all captured. I got the first brief on that yesterday. Our team's got to do a little more deep diving to figure out, okay, of the things we found, what are the projects that are coming to Wainwright that are going to take care of those needs that aren't met, and what are the things that we don't have identified yet that we need to maybe go look and program. Some of the things that we found out that people would like to have is an indoor pistol range. That is already on the future forecast. Once the Community Activity Center is built and up and operational around FY25, which will be much larger than the Last Frontier Club, it'll also have bowling alley in it. Then the old bowling alley will become an indoor shooting range. So I wish we could solve it tomorrow, but at least it's on the out-year development plan. Indoor water parks was another one. Our new aquatic center, which is already funded, design is almost complete. We'll break ground potentially this summer, if not next summer. Has an indoor water park family area in it, which we don't have now. Plus, it also has the Olympic pool area for lap swimmers. So, huge thing coming to this community, but again, won't be ready for families till 24-25. A few other things on here. It talks about things that they're most satisfied with were our fitness facilities. I know Malaven is still a problem right now. We do not expect that to be fixed at least till the fall or late winter. However, we're looking at how to open up the surrounding areas of the multifunction rooms, which I have the team coming back to me next week. So that's looking promising. The pool is still open, by the way. And there's several other things on here we're looking at, like family dining. That is something that we're trying to get up here, is like an Applebee's or an Outback or a Texas Roadhouse or something of that nature on this post. So the larger Army as a whole is trying to help us get one of those corporations to put a on-post dining. So more to follow on that in the future. But again, thank you for all that. We'll publish more results once the data is analyzed a little bit better. And then, my goal is to put up a pictorial to show where everything sits and what our solution is in the short term, mid-term, and long term for all those areas. Okay, the next hot topic, Army Emergency Relief, AER campaign, is ongoing right now, and it runs through through May 15th. You can still donate all year, by the way, but that's just the campaign plan. So I'm going to turn it over for a video where Command Sergeant Major Ruben Murillo is going to give us a quick talk.
Hello, Fort Wainwright. I'd like to talk to you about an important Army program designed to help our soldiers and their families when they experience financial emergencies, the Army Emergency Relief Program. AER is celebrating its 80th anniversary from 1942 to 2022. The focus of AER has remained the same, providing a hand up for a fellow soldier in need. Over $2 billion in assistance has been provided to soldiers over the years. I want you to know that AER should be your first choice to turn to when life brings unwelcome surprises. Some of the most common things AER assists soldiers with are funds for emergency leave, vehicle repairs, and first month's rent. AER can also provide assistance with 30 other categories of need. If you or someone you know is experiencing a financial emergency, contact the AER office. Never leave a fallen comrade. It's part of our warrior ethos. As you are looking out for your squad, remember you have AER in your toolkit. The assistance AER provides is made possible only by the generous donations of soldiers just like you. So I ask that each of you consider making a very small monthly donation to AER. Find your unit AER representative and ask how you can. Donate to AER is a real way of connecting to the legacy of soldiers helping soldiers. Thank you.
Thanks, Sergeant Major, for that wonderful message. Just a plug for myself, number one charity that I donate to every year, my wife and I. Why? Because it's incredible what it does for our families. No interest loans and or grants for families in need. You're getting that nowhere else. It just doesn't exist. It is the best option always to use, the number one option you should ask for prior to going to any bank or any other loan agency out there. Okay, so the month of the military child is this month. Our children, our families in general, our spouses, they get a lot of the recognition, but our children moving every 1 to 3 years for, in many cases, their entirety of their school age. The sacrifices that those children deal with is enormous. And so we have a month to celebrate them. And our post has a whole bunch of activities that we're going to put on that we'll talk about here in a minute to celebrate the importance and the value of the military child. So we got a little video clip we'll go to next.
Hi, my name is Jamie Kuhn. I'm the School Age Center Assistant Director here, and I'm here to welcome you to participate in our Month of the Military Child fun activities here at SAC. We have a lot of activities planned for you and your families if you check our Month of the Military Child calendar that's posted. To highlight, we have Cookies with the Command. We have cookie kits available for you to pick up and work on and take home, and we also have activities with our School Liaison Officer, Miss Janet Ferris.
Hello, I'm Janet Ferris, the Fort Wainwright School Liaison Officer. We are very honored in the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District to host the very first Alaska Purple Star School Award Ceremony on the 15th of April at Lathrop High School. And please don't forget, it's Month of the Military Child.
All right, Lindsay here. I'm the director for the Youth Center and Youth Sports and Fitness. I just wanted to let you all know that we do have registrations going on currently for our summer season, so you can register at Parent Central Services. We also have a big announcement. We're going to tag with the Mumsy Barbecue for the Youth Center. At the Youth Center, we're going to do our grand opening ribbon cutting for our newly renovated Youth Center gym. See you there.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Falele. I am here as the Youth Center Assistant Director. I just wanted to let you know that we have a lot of opportunities for families, for youth and their parents as well. So we have dodgeball that's going to definitely rumble up the house a little bit. We have activities that are going to include Express Yourself Art Night, which is going to allow you to paint, dabble in with your artistic skills a little bit. We're also going to have, at the end of the month, a Month of the Military Child barbecue.
Okay, so our next guest, we have Miss Jessica Spittle, who is our Child Youth Services Director. How you doing, Jessica?
I'm doing great, sir.
So Jessica and I work a lot together. Children and child care is top of my list, as everyone knows. And so I'm constantly maneuvering around the child care space, and I can just tell you I'm in awe. The child caregivers, to me, are my heroes, because how they're able, the patience, the empathy, the caring that they give day in, day out, literally a no-fail mission year-round, through COVID, through many other types of pandemics we don't talk about, like RSV, the flu, all these things that naturally affect them, all together. And they do it, and they don't complain, and they make it happen. So thank you, Jessica, for being here. And I'm going to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. So what are some of the activities that we're going to be doing this month to celebrate the Month of the Military Child?
Well, sir, traditionally we would have a large carnival and do all of those things, but in sight of COVID, some of those activities are going to be taking place more localized in our individual centers. But very excited that this is the first annual Alaska Purple Star Award. Has been given to Alaska. This is the first year for the exceptional support that the community provides to our military students. So our school liaison, Janet Ferris, has been working very closely with the other liaison officers in the school district. And so we're really excited on April 15th at Lathrop High School to have that ceremony. Cannot wait for that. Also, we will have a couple of different kits that will be given out at Parent Central Services on the 11th and the 26th, and a drive-by so that families can come by and pick up kits and to do a little craft with their child at home. Also, we'll be doing cookie decorating kits again this year. It was a big hit throughout COVID. We typically do something in the program, which we will do the in-program version, but we'll also have kits for families that can come by and grab them. And that will be on the afternoon of the 22nd. And then on the 29th, we'll have a Mumsy barbecue and a ribbon cutting for our newly renovated gym at the youth center. And we're really excited about that. It's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. And just to double tap on the Purple Star School, 20 schools receiving that award throughout Alaska this year. We're talking about Kenai, Sitka, Juneau, Kodiak, Anchorage, and all that.
This is huge. Yes,
of
sir.
the 20 schools, 10 of them are in Fairbanks North Star Borough.
Yes.
So we took 50% of the state.
Yes, sir.
Which it kind of gets back to why I believe this is the greatest community to live in as a military family. Those statistics don't lie.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Great point on that. So next question is, during COVID, CYS was focused on providing full-day childcare to meet mission requirements. Now that we are coming to the summer with more people vaccinated, the virus declining, or I shouldn't say declining, but it's not more under control and not affecting us to the same severity. What changes are there for CYS?
Well, so number one, we just want to get back to youth programming and get youth sports and fitness more robust. And so you'll see a lot more programming for the youth center. We'll have some camp programming that's not typically something that we would do, but we'll be running different camps out of that program. We also are trying to get parents to come and join with the youth. So there is a parent versus youth dodgeball game at the youth center on April 15th at 4:30, and an Express Yourself art night, which is the paint night, on the 26th at 1700. And so parents or family members are welcome to come to that. Definitely want to get to see our family a little bit more involved with our youth. And we also have registration opening for summer sports and fall sports. And then we also have some really unique Alaskan experiences like our adventure camps and river float trips. And so those are things you're not going to see in other garrisons. It's definitely a unique Alaskan experience that we're trying to provide here. And so through that, the Quality of Life Initiative, one of the things that we've done is invest a lot of money into our youth programming and our youth sports and fitness. And so we've acquired snow machines, ATVs, paddle boards, and just a lot of other equipment that you wouldn't normally see. And so we're really excited to bring that programming, not just for youth sports and fitness, but also to the youth center. And also, how can we use some of that equipment, maybe not the ATVs and stuff, in our school age environment so that we're, giving them some of those same unique experiences.
Sure.
So very excited.
No, this is all great because I've watched all this equipment and these type of capabilities flowing in over the year. And so as we mature this, I think families are just absolutely going to be astounded by it.
Yeah.
That's incredible. A river float trip, you're right. You're not going to come across that too often. So what is there anything else planned of note that you'd like to talk about just in general with
for quality of life?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. So, our focus in Child and Youth Services is the health and well-being of the children and youth that we serve, but also our team members. So we really looked at this quality of life initiative of how do we make this a better experience for children and also our staff. And so, we're trying to make this like the Disneyland of the North and just give these children some experiences that are fun and exciting, and so that families want to come here. This is where they want to come. And so our indoor active playrooms and our child development centers are going to be completely renovated. And so each class, we call them romp and stomps, will be completely converted and look different, and so that the children can have different experiences depending on the day. So very excited about that. And then Engineer Field, which is where we hold our youth sports and fitness programming. There wasn't really anything out there for kids, so the younger siblings that are there with their parents to do, and there was a lot of climbing, and we were worried about safety, so we're putting a giant play structure out there that will have equipment from 2 all the way up, age 2 to up, and then along the pathway there'll be stationary workout equipment, so the members of the community can use it anytime they want, not just for youth sports and fitness when we have programming, but anytime they want to go. It's close enough to some of the housing, you can walk the strollers over there and play. So we're really looking forward to that. I know that getting outside and playing, and when you have that time, is really important. And then obviously the big buzz is CDC3 is coming. I know that Kate Morrison talked a little bit about that. Very excited. It will be able to clear our wait list completely. And have room for more children. So I know that that is a huge stressor to the community to not be able to have childcare in a timely manner. And the Army is listening. So they're building this big, beautiful, large CDC. And we also pushed very hard to get a 4,000 square foot multi-purpose room or a gym attached. And that's because we know that it's not just winter, it's also summer. And so we wanted to make sure there was enough space. The standard design only had 2, and we wanted to make sure there was ample space. So the children and the staff are going to love being in that facility.
Yeah, that's breaking ground literally this summer.
This summer.
Right across from the PFC where we used to have the resale vehicle lot.
Yes, sir.
Very excited about this. And in theory, the doors would open late winter, the 23, like December 23 to January 24. So that's a pretty quick turnaround for a building that size in the build season that we have here.
Absolutely.
So that is very exciting.
Yes.
And the Engineer Park will be done this summer?
Yep, as well as the gross motor rooms in the CDC. So they know that we have a short window of time when the kids can be outside, and so we said, please do that while they can play outside.
That's right.
Yes,
So you'll
sir.
have them outside when they're putting them in there.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's all great. And then I know this last topic's near and dear to both of our hearts, is that we're hiring, okay? And if you are interested in childcare, please contact Parent Central Services. They will show you how to apply. There is tons of opportunities out there. For example, you can get your degree through UAF, then through a partnership, you can get up to 13 credit hours for free, right? Based
Absolutely.
off our training.
Yes.
And that's just automatically goes right towards your associates or bachelor's in something like early childhood education or something of that nature.
Yes, absolutely.
So great opportunities there. There are efforts right now talking about the CDC and how we got that. The larger Army right now is looking at different benefits that we can increase for our child caregivers as it is. So that's it. I think that's coming soon also.
Very soon.
And I just wanted to put a plug in for family child care centers. That's what we call them, right? FCCs.
Yes, sir.
You can give child care in your home certified by our Child Youth Services program, where they provide you equipment and pay you to give child care to your children and up to one or more. I think a total of 6 is your max, but you get to choose it, and you can choose your hours. So if you're already giving child care to your kids at home and you would like to bring in another child or 2 or 3 into your home, contact parent or child youth services, parental central services. Sorry for the acronyms there, and they'll show you how to do it. So I think we roughly hover around 7 to 10 homes based off what I see. What's our current number?
8.
It's 8, so I was close. But we'd like to see that number jump to potentially as high as 20, because as we talked about, that CDC will not be built and finished till winter of 23, and so these top opportunities that can help both our population and you as a spouse to bring some income in for something you're already doing potentially with your children at home, just by adding somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So.
And I would just like to add, too, that not just in the actual benefits that come with working in Child and Youth Services, but we are also getting a support community. About 50% of our employees are military spouses. And so what we are is a close-knit community that work very closely with each other 10 hours a day. And a lot of our employees, they understand the struggles of, what we go through. And so that's one of the hugest benefits, is we understand, we care, and we're here to support you. And so, yes, there's wonderful benefits, but there's also that, that mental health support as well. Absolutely. And so, we're always hiring, and we are the place to work if you're at Fort Wainwright and you're looking for a job.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much. We appreciate it. As always, I support you 100%. And
thank you,
I
sir.
look forward. I think I have another trip to see you
tomorrow.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So,
thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, our next topic is about volunteers and the power that they have in our communities. So I'd like to go straight to the video, and then we're going to bring in a guest, Jimmy Russell, to kind of bring this all together and talk about wonderful volunteers that we have at Fort Wainwright.
Alaska is huge, is big. And we, as an Army family, it's a small community.
What I love about volunteering is that you are helping organizations that have these wonderful missions to fill that gap between what communities are able to provide and what the needs of the people in that community actually are.
After I got started, just with the organizations that I volunteer with, I feel like their message that they send out and what they do is something that is just outstanding and amazing, and I want to support them in any way I can.
I was invited to an SFRG event, and I met a lot of amazing women, and just kind of gave me the opportunity to get out of the house and have a sense of purpose and an opportunity to give back to our community. It was just a lot of fun knowing that I was able to assist other families and just give back and do something meaningful.
I enjoy helping people, and I think that's something that we can always do for someone, no matter how big or small the task is.
Nothing is too great or too little.
So it gets you involved, and you get to meet really good people, with good values. You become part of a family, and that's what I love most about it.
And I feel like it's a very, very rewarding act, and I'm glad that I did it.
Connects us to our duty station, and it's something that makes it feel like home a little.
There's no greater feeling than when someone looks at you and says, "Hey man, thanks for what you do." It moves you. Yeah, that's why I do it. And it's fun. There's a lot of fun with volunteering.
All right. We're here today with Jimmy Russell, who is our Army Volunteer Corps Coordinator. So how you doing, Jimmy?
Doing good, sir. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me today.
Well, I'm excited. So I know we got a big volunteer ceremony scheduled for the 21st of April. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Our volunteer recognition ceremony, 21st of April on Fort Wainwright at Birch Hill Ski Lodge. We have a social hour starting at 1700, and then the program is going to start promptly at 1800, sir.
Okay, awesome. How many volunteers do we have on this post in general?
On this post in general, sir, we have over 2,500, but because of COVID, during the 2021 season, we only had 200 active volunteers. But out of those 200 active volunteers, 85 of them contributed 50 or more hours to the volunteer program. So we're looking to recognize them and paying a special emphasis on our 4 Volunteer of the Year winners.
Okay, awesome. So what kinds of things do these volunteers do for our community? Just give us a snapshot.
Well, sir, we have over 180 different organizations that any one of our family members, soldiers, or dependents can volunteer for. So they do things such as with ASYMCA, they have the Military Courtesy Lounge at the airport. We have our BOSS program, which provides a great service because it helps reduces, we have SAD, it helps reduces the possibility of DUIs amongst our soldiers. We have the Fairbanks Rescue Mission, to where our volunteers can go and work in the kitchen and help serve food to some of the homeless people within the community. We have the Salvation Army, to where soldiers and family members can go out and distribute food once again to the less endowed or to the homeless. So we have a lot of great things, sir. I mean, we have everything from the drama club to Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, youth sports. You can go and be a coach, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, or just being a youth mentor. We have so many different things within our community that really involves our soldiers. You know, give them a sense of purpose to where we're not just sitting around during the winter months saying it's too cold to get out. We go out and we support our community. So a lot of good things, sir.
You know, Jimmy, I think you nailed something there. You know, I always say the success is not based on monetary or material gain, but rather the positive impact you have on humanity. And volunteering is a way to help the person to the left and right of you.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that the folks that do that, my wife, for example, is a Girl Scout troop leader, and the joy, I've coached youth sports multiple times, the joy you get out of that is immeasurable. And so I encourage, especially our young soldiers and our young families, you know, I understand time can be tough for families, but if you're a single soldier, I mean, it's you. So get out of the barracks, volunteer to do something, and I think you'll be amazed at how the quality of your life is improved. So here's one. This is interesting. I've seen this before, but it's been a while. So if we try to put a tangible figure in dollars on the value that we know of, the volunteers that have registered into VMIS, which stands for
Volunteer Management Information System.
There we go. It's been around a long time because I know my
Yes,
wife
sir.
knows how to do it, but you can log your hours in there, right? That you keep track of everything that you do, whether you're an SFRG leader or a Girl Scout troop leader, coach, or anything you just said, you can log those. So of what we know about, well, how much do we think those volunteer hours have added up to over the year?
Well, sir, because we're going to present the check to you at the ceremony, I don't want to really spoil the surprise, but I will say during a calendar year 2020, we had $261,664. Wow. And that was during 2020. Okay. I will tell you this, sir, the check is much, much larger this year.
Wow, I'm anxious to see
sir.
that. Okay, well, that's awesome to just hear. Again, that special space in my heart across the board for all volunteers, because we, you know, I haven't done it myself multiple times in multiple different ways. I can't tell you. I don't know if I get anything that's as joyful than doing things like coaching or giving to the needy. So I'm excited to have this recognition program to highlight just a few wonderful people that make our community better. You have anything to add, Jimmy?
I just want to add, sir, that when it comes to volunteering, it's twice-fold. You have the individual volunteer that's helping in the community, but for those who are doing the volunteer, I just want them to know that if they decide they're getting out of the military or they're looking for employment, they can apply their volunteer activities toward their resume. It's the opportunity to build friendships that last forever, opportunity to get some new job skills or just network. It gives them a sense of purpose. It is a really helpful thing when it comes to your mental state. So just want to make sure our volunteers understand that, get out and just enjoy it. Alaska is what we call a bucket list state.
Yes.
There are so many things that you can do here that you can't do elsewhere. Get out and volunteer and do it. You will love it. I came here 12 years ago and haven't left since. Retired and haven't left since. I love this place. Fairbanks, I said it earlier, this is one of the best communities to live in.
It really is. It's
Yes,
the
sir.
highest veteran population for a state out of the 50, in our nation. And I would argue, I haven't proven this yet, but just looking at the numbers in Fairbanks, I'd say we're probably the highest per capita
Yes, sir.
of like the top 4 or 5 cities. And you just kind of see that everywhere you step. It's I've served or retired or my spouse did or my dad or mom did or so forth and so on. So yeah, so get out there and volunteer. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danny Wallace from the Plans Analysis and Integration Office, and my office manages the ICE system, the Interactive Customer Evaluation System, which is a way for you as a customer to provide feedback to Garrison services. Both the Garrison leaders and the staff look at ICE comments every single day in order to provide timely responses. This month, we're going to talk about 2 ICE comments. The first one is from a customer who comes to post every day through Badger Gate. The comment states, I access posts from Badger Gate, and once I go through the pop-up security gate, my vehicle will slide about 10 to 15 inches. I'm afraid I will hit the barrier when I slide. Someone is going to damage their vehicle or damage your barricades.
Hey, thank you, Danny, for bringing this comment up as this session. Great comment. These are exactly what we want. We want the ICE system is set up to you to communicate with the garrison commander or the folks that work for me so we can find out, A, about a problem and then try to get to resolution to fix it, or B, we like to get positive comments so that we know where things are going right. So in this case, this was a safety concern by a patron, and yes, those barriers we know during this time of year get caked with ice, and so we're constantly attacking those things. But we had a gap there maybe for a day. We immediately went out, realized it, took care of it, fixed the problem, and then reached back out to the patron and let them know that we fixed that. So we thank you, one, for giving us the information, but two, providing your contact information so we could reach back out to you and say, hey, we fixed it, and we're going to monitor it more closely now because the breakup season allows that collection more often on those barriers. So thanks again.
Thanks, sir. The second comment is from a customer to MWR based on program offerings. It specifically talks about a recently offered jiu-jitsu martial arts camp for youth. The customer states, I wish to have jiu-jitsu as a permanent program for kids on base. That would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, so again, wonderful positive comment with a leisure need outreach. It says, we'd like to see more of this. So we've noted that. Our youth and fitness sports programmer realized it was a hit, and we're going to look to try to do more of that on the post in the future, along with many other activities, as Jessica just talked about, since we are coming out of the threat of COVID as of today. So again, thanks for your comment, and thanks for providing your contact information so we were able to get back to you to give you that information.
We welcome to the program Alex Leach from the USDA, who is here to tell us about migratory birds in interior Alaska.
Hey Alex, how you doing today?
Good, you?
I'm doing wonderful. So I'm here to learn today, I can tell you that, and I know our whole community is, because this is a topic that I almost guarantee you very few people know anything about. We do see a lot of birds, but we have no idea why they're here or what the patterns are or whatnot. So the first big question would be is, we see all these birds, and we know they're a threat to aircraft, right? And we have an airfield here, so that's a big one. But we also would like to know, I'd like to know, what is their pattern? How many come here? What are the times they're here, and so forth and so on? What kind of birds are they?
So our spring migration occurs in Fairbanks from about beginning to mid-April, and that pushes through to about May, June, and then during the June period is when the nesting season for most birds start. And then again, we see an uptick in migration during late August, early September, and those are the birds that are heading back south for the winter.
Okay, so they come up here starting in April,
Yes.
nest all summer, then turn around and take off again. And is there more of them up here in this part of the world, like compared to the lower 48?
No, so Fairbanks, Alaska is very far north, and so we're typically on the end of the migration route. So a lot of birds will tend to stop earlier, but there are several species of birds that continue up to Fairbanks and even past Fairbanks that head up to the North Slope.
Oh, wow, okay. So what is the WASH program?
So the WASH program, so first of all, I'll say what I do. So I am the wildlife specialist and I run the WASH program. And the WASH program here on Fort Wainwright, WASH stands for Wildlife Aircraft Strike Hazard Program. And so what we do, we try to minimize wildlife activity on and around the airfield to decrease the chances of a bird strike happening, and our goal is to keep our aircraft and pilots safe and to decrease the chances of a bird strike.
Oh, okay, that makes total sense. So what is a bird strike?
So a bird strike is when any type of wildlife comes in contact with any type of aircraft.
Okay.
So it could be while the aircraft is taxiing, like moving from point A to point B on the runway or taxiways. It could be while the aircraft is in the air, and it could be especially with helicopters, which is what we see the most here at Fort Wainwright. It could be when they're doing their hovering and low altitude maneuver.
Yeah, no, tracking all. Okay, so the next question would be, which birds are protected by the Migratory Bird Act?
So the Migratory Bird Act protects all birds that migrate, which is most of the birds in Fairbanks. So any bird species that comes to Fairbanks during the spring and is here throughout the summer, and then travels to warmer places during the winter, which I'm sure a lot of us wish we could do, living up here in Fairbanks, those are all species that are protected by the Migratory Bird Act. So a lot of the more common ones you'll see around Fort Wainwright in the Fairbanks area are your geese, your ducks, your cranes, and gulls, like your seagulls that you see around, and songbirds. So they're birds that sing and what a lot of people like to listen to when they're out in the woods.
So what do we mean by protected? Because I know you can hunt some of these things.
You can hunt
some of these birds.
So waterfowl, so like your ducks and geese, they are game species, so you can hunt them, but they are protected federally. So it is up to the state to declare whether or not these species can be or can't be hunted. And so that depends on population numbers and locations. So, and like certain bird species have more protections than others. So like waterfowl has a little bit less protection because their numbers are doing very well, while some of your other bird species, such as eagles, they are heavily protected because within recent years, their numbers have been low and now they're on the uprising.
Sure. So what should we do if we find a nest?
So if you come across a nest on post or anywhere, the first thing to do is leave it alone and observe it safely from a distance. Nests are super cool. It's super cool to see them, but you got to be mindful of the birds. The birds are working very hard to have a successful nest and to not disturb them. If a bird is nesting in a place that is inconvenient for people, say it's above your door or above your workplace building, and the birds are becoming aggressive, they're flying down and swooping at you, feel free to call us, USDA Wildlife Services, at 907-795-2243, and we will come out and come up with a solution to help keep both you and the birds safe.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I've seen them in, in aircraft engine inlets, very common. If
Yeah.
you're not flying for that aircraft for like a week or two, you'll see them build one pretty quick. We see them in the grills of Humvees or whatever vehicle it may be. We actually had one when I was at Fort Hood where we found a nest, and it was one of those protected. We could not touch that vehicle. It was roped off until the bird hatched and flew away.
Yes, and so with that, all bird nests are protected by the Migratory Bird Act, and it is against federal law to disturb those nests and remove those
There we
nests.
go. I think that's the key point right there is if you find a nest, it's inconvenient. Most of the time they're in the trees or something, but if it's
Yeah.
inconvenient, it's in your vehicle or whatever for soldiers and any of their equipment, you got to call that number, alert or environmental office for DPW, and then we will take it from there and give you instructions.
Correct.
So that's awesome. Was there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, you've informed me. I really appreciate it. I'll make sure I call that number if I find a nest for sure.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We now welcome to the program Tricia Blake, the director of the Alaska Songbird Institute, to talk about bird watching opportunities in the greater Fairbanks area.
How you doing, Tricia?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So this is on the same topic as we just kind of had with the bird strike situation. So I think we'll get in a little more detail about birds in the area with you.
Mhm.
So the first question I have is, what makes Fairbanks area attractive to migratory birds?
So in Fairbanks, we're in the boreal forest. The boreal forest is the forest across the northern part of our continent. The boreal forest is called North America's bird nursery because about half the species of birds in North America come up here to breed. So
Wow, half.
yeah, we're important.
That's incredible. And so where do they generally come from?
Alaska is kind of unique. This is another reason that bird watchers like to come here. Because of our location, we get birds from 6 of the 7 continents. Most of them are from North America, of course, but we get birds from Asia and Africa, Antarctica,
So where's the one continent they don't come from?
Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that one. Figured they just fly right over the North Pole.
Yeah,
I guess
they
that'd
probably
be-
stop in Russia or Siberia,
that's a
I
good
would
point.
assume. Yeah.
So where can people go to learn more about what we call I guess it's called the Songbird Research Project?
Yeah, so I am the director of the Alaska Songbird Institute. We are a nonprofit at Creamersfield. There's a bunch of us that work there, a bunch of different groups that work there. And our job at Creamersfield is studying migratory songbirds. So we have a project called the Creamersfield Migration Station. It started in 1992, so this is the 31st year that it's been monitoring migration through the refuge. And we welcome visitors all the time. So we have a bunch of field trips that will be coming out this spring. And drop-in visitors that are out on the trails are welcome to come in, check out our research, see some of the birds up close before we let them go back into the wild.
Oh, so
Yeah.
also you actually bring them into captivity to study them?
We are catching them with a tool called a mist net.
Mhm.
Yeah, we open them in the mornings when we get there, just during migration, because we're studying migration. Catch the birds, it takes 10 or 15 minutes to collect data from them and give them a little aluminum bird band on their leg, and then they are
Oh,
released.
wow. And so then you can track them worldwide?
We can't track their movements bit by bit, because it's just a band with a number, but it
Oh, okay.
identifies them.
Okay.
So if they're caught by another researcher
I understand.
anywhere in the world, anywhere in North America, yeah, we learn about how they travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can interested people become more involved?
So we're at Creamersfield, and Creamersfield, if you have not been there, is one of the best places to experience migration. In just a couple weeks, it'll be full of swans, geese, cranes, and all the little birds coming in too. So that's a great place to start. And there are trails, it's open to the public, it's free. There are guided walks there each morning at 10 a.m. so people can go to those. And then there's an event coming up called the Spring Migration Celebration, which is on the 30th, Saturday the 30th, open to the public. There'll be people out helping people identify birds. There'll be walks that people can go on, and a number of groups that work with birds and kids and wildlife in the Fairbanks area will all be there with activities
That's
and things.
Saturday 30th.
April 30th at
Okay.
Creamers Field, yeah.
Write that down.
So that's a great place to start. And then if people want to get more involved with us, we have volunteers that come out. We have our kids' field trips. We have an internship program for high school kids. And we have some summer programs.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. My daughters have been out there numerous times. I've been out there with them with the Girl Scouts.
Great.
Only in the winter so far, so I'm excited to go during the migratory side. So that's why I wrote down. I'm coming on the 30th.
Great.
So thank you for that information.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, good. Well, so we've learned a bunch about birds today,
Great.
and makes me happy because birds are they're just so wonderful to watch and see.
They
and every
are.
once in a while, maybe put them on the plate to eat.
Right, not songbirds.
No, I'm tracking.
Right.
Like an occasional duck or geese.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
grouse or pheasant or a few
Right.
others. But all right, well, have a wonderful day and thank you for coming.
I will, you too.
All right.
Hey Fort Wainwright, Staff Sergeant Trigger here with another round of what's happening on post this month. EFMP is hosting Family Game Night on the third Thursday of each month. Follow the Fort Wainwright ACS Facebook page for details. Join ACS inside the IHG Army Hotel lobby for their coffee and tea with ACS. This is a casual, informational meetup that happens twice a month to share resources and information with new soldiers and their families. DFMWR is hosting an on-site hiring fair on April 19th at the Last Frontier Community Activity Center on North Post. Bring your resume and be prepared to interview on the spot for open positions throughout DFMWR. And don't forget to check out Outdoor Recreation for all the great trips and deals on equipment rentals as we begin to transition into spring and summer. Well, that's it for me. Remember your safety brief. Make good choices and don't become a statistic.
Hello, Fort Wainwright. My name is Chaplain Major Tony Check. I'm Fort Wainwright's Deputy Garrison Chaplain. As many of you know, Easter, or Resurrection Sunday, is the Super Bowl of services and holy days for our Anglican, Catholic, and Christian Protestant chapel communities. This year, our Anglican and Protestant communities will be observing Good Friday on Friday, April 15th at Northern Lights Chapel at 3 p.m. Our Catholic community will observe Good Friday Mass at 5 p.m. at Southern Lights Chapel. On Easter Sunday morning, our post-wide Easter sunrise service will be at Southern Lights Chapel at 7 a.m. The Anglican community will observe communion at 9 a.m., followed by an Easter brunch with our Catholic community at 10:30. Our Southern Lights Chapel Catholic community will have Easter Mass at 9 a.m., and our Protestant community will have an Easter service at Northern Lights Chapel at 11 a.m. Our Fort Wainwright Jewish community will be celebrating Passover in April also. On Friday, April 15th at 6:30 p.m., they'll celebrate Passover at Northern Lights Chapel. All of our post services and activities are open to anyone. I want to wish you a happy Easter and a happy Passover. We hope to see you at one of our services, and for a full list of our April services and Holy Week activities, please see our Fort Wainwright Religious Support Office Facebook page. Have a good day.
All right, Fort Wainwright, I hope you enjoyed. I think this is our 4th iteration of Arctic Vibe. Our next location will be the Chena Bend Golf Course in April. Still see snow on the ground, but it's an opportunity to promote the upcoming golfing season, which this is the #1 course in the state of Alaska as voted by Alaskans, and quite frankly, I'm biased and I've been out there. It's a really gorgeous course. So a lot of activities that you can do at the golf course. So we'll be promoting that there. So as always, if you have any comments about how we can improve this, or suggestions of where we should do it, or topics that you'd like to hear about, just throw them in the chat here at the end of this, and we'll take a look at it. So again, enjoy. This is the best part of Alaska, is right now through about October, early October. So get out and enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the sunlight, but be safe, because as we transition, as I said before, it's very dangerous. Even though you might not think so, if you just for a minute are complacent and forget that you're walking on a sheet of ice. Take care. Have a great day.